Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of IRL Podcast. Here we talk to people who run and own businesses, and we dive deep into what it really takes to make it all work. So no fluff, no sugarcoating, just real, honest conversations. So today we have Steph, who is a super serial entrepreneur.
No lah.
Don't
set it up like that.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't really know
What I do.
I know kind of what you do, but I don't know what exactly you do.
Oh,
Yeah, so what do you do?
I also don't know.
I just anyhow, hey, on the street, come on.
It's just like, hey, come for a podcast. And I was like, okay.
No lah, but you are doing something good, like something interesting in life. No?
Is it? I don't know. So,
Like with Duo and all that?
okay, so my main hustle and the thing I spend the longest time growing is myself. It's Duo Studio, which is
Can't say
actually...
the same for myself, sorry.
You're still young.
You were
you're still
saying,
young.
yeah.
It's Duo Studio, which is also best known to be a social media agency. Yeah. But I think with that also, I went through different iterations of what that means, right?
Yeah.
Like the scene is still relatively young, and I had to kind of like find my way to define what value I want to bring to it.
Okay.
So within that journey in itself came a lot of stories of growth also. Then I hit a point where I was like, maybe I should try other stuff. And I think I also wanted to prove to myself because at some point after running it for about 10 years, there's a bit of imposter syndrome.
You ran for 10 years?
Yeah.
And then you still got imposter syndrome?
Yes, like,
Like, why? 10 years means your clients trust you, no man?
yes.
You know what you're doing?
Yes, I'm thankful for that. But I think, okay, the biggest one was because I had to act as director for a lot of things, right? Whether it's business director or creative director. And I started the agency when I was relatively young. My
How young were you when you started?
2014, which I think,
Wow, you started in 2014, so you
Yeah.
got the whole wave.
yeah.
Wow, that's very good, sir.
So there's a part that's that, right?
yeah.
I entered early and then I rode the wave. So how much of it is to my merit? There's that part of in my last job before I came out to start my own thing, I was just an entry-level exec. So am I a good manager? Am I a good director? Those were the questions I had to ask myself. And I think, like I said, the biggest part was I was acting as a creative director, but this term in the advertising or creative industry is like given to the best of the best. And usually I'll be in a room with people who are like almost twice my age with a lot of accolades under them, like awards.
I can read.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And wow, maybe they did like billboard ads in New York and all that. Then I was like, can I take on this title? That's where I felt the most imposter. Yeah. Yeah. Then I just wanted to prove to myself that I can build other things also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
then
can
what do you
create
do?
more than just social media.
After that.
So, so I got into a bit of a hospitality business in Bali, where then I tried my hands on building a property from scratch and designing it,
It's
doing
like your
the
house
interior
lah.
design.
Wow.
Yeah,
The
because
house is like
I
that
cannot
nice,
afford.
Her house is like my dream house. It's like mid-century,
Eh.
modern plus.
I don't even know how to
everything.
describe the aesthetic, but
Yeah, but very very nice.
Thank you. So the first project was a
Bali.
project in Bali, a little bit more affordable, to kind of get a feel of the process
Okay.
of building a real space.
Okay.
And then I very fortunately found a partner to create more documentary style videos for a platform called Trampoline.
Oh yeah.
And this one was really a bit to move away from commercial work.
Okay.
I think there was a lot more that we wanted to do in terms of revealing authentic stories, revealing, the warmth of friendship and kinship in Singapore.
Yeah.
And you need time to tell those stories.
Yeah.
Which sometimes when you're doing commercials, honestly, most of the time, you don't have that luxury to do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been like the soul fulfilling
see.
part of things with trampoline. And then what else do I do?
You do so many things.
Or sometimes
What
I
else?
teach.
Oh, you teach?
But
Where do you
again,
teach?
it's very ad hoc project
Oh, okay.
basis.
Oh, like the one you went to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went to Hong Kong to teach like AI for content
I
creation.
guess like Hong Kong, not anyhow one, right? It's Hong Kong you, right?
No. Okay, let's clarify. That one I was contracted by Marketing Interactive
Okay.
to hold a workshop lah.
I see. But it was held in one of the unis.
Nowhere. They just rented some
Oh,
place
okay.
and then it was open to public lah. But we had a good mix of students in the room from reputable companies.
Yeah.
So I think because I personally dabble in AI a lot.
Yeah.
And I like to share what I learned.
When you say that you dabble into AI, everybody also say,
okay,
I got
okay,
use
okay.
AI, but when the AI is like, I'm so sad today. And
Is that how you okay, ma? Is that how you use it?
No, but I have friends who like, okay, personally I also talk to ChatGPT sometimes, right? And then I'm like, what do you think about stuff, right?
Yeah.
But like, how do you use
It starts with that.
Okay.
Right? You probably can relate that as a business owner. Oh, and most of the projects I go into alone. Yeah.
Is there a reason why?
Wow.
You cannot work with people.
In some ways,
Really?
yes. Not that I cannot work with them, but I think I'm more comfortable, especially if I'm going into a new space, or I'm more effective going into it, figuring out, okay, what is it that I have in terms of resources in that area, and then having the alone time to process and think about strategy and structure, and going and doing it a bit myself first.
Okay.
To get clarity on the roles and responsibilities then of each team member that I need to put on board. Then I put the team together and ship from there.
Yeah. Makes sense. Cause like sometimes when you you think of an idea, then you want to like jump straight into it, then end up your partner that you bring in is like, actually you got not much value add, but very hard to like say, I think I don't need you. Is that?
What? It's not so much that.
Okay.
I think in a way, I don't like being slowed down. Right? I don't think it's wrong to have a partner. I think there's a lot of value to it. But then you need to spend a lot more time aligning, discussing, being accountable to each other, making sure also that whatever your partner wants to achieve out of life or out of the business is also met if you guys are not on the same page about things, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So,
and it's also not just in the business but also in life, right?
Yes.
Like being aligned in like understanding like, this is your point in time in your life. Then maybe you want kids. Maybe you want maybe you can't even commit as much effort as I can if I don't have kids.
Yeah. Exactly that. Maybe that's why I'm single. So it's true, lor. I really enjoy the speed of being able to get something to live off when I'm doing it alone.
Yes.
So like for example with the property, right?
Yeah.
I think I also usually don't go into things, to be fair, with a very strategic mindset.
Okay.
So it was very much like, okay, I think the opportunity is great. Try. And then even with like the interior design, the management of things, most foreign investors would go in and get an agency to do it for them, or like somebody on ground to do it for them. But I preferred to just
like
form my own
rough it out and
not really rough it out, really built from zero, or something that works
yeah.
for the way I like to approach business. And even down to the interior design, I decided to just do it myself. So literally like, and it was so fulfilling for me. Literally, I was like in a hot sun on the scooter, going to cottage industry, buying straight from the makers, which I really, really enjoy. It takes so much time, right? It took me about like 2 months just to finish the setup of things because it was slow. It was quite a slow process. Like, have to speak to the carpenter.
Is it? Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it more like culture slow? Cause I mean, in Bali, the culture is a bit more slow.
To be fair, I feel like the Balinese people work faster than Singaporeans.
But is it?
Yeah.
Why?
Maybe they are so good at their craft,
Ah.
or maybe they are hungry
Or maybe
to,
hungry. Yeah.
to do the project. And I guess one person is not dabbling in too many construction projects. I don't know, it could
Ah.
be different now.
Ah.
But yeah, I found that my problems get fixed very fast also there
Oh,
in
is
terms
it?
of construction.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's like, okay, 1-2 days after that,
I
it's
see.
fixed.
Do you feel like it's like a living standard thing? Cause like they don't have to take so many projects in like any point in time, then they can like actually dedicate their time. Or do you think it's just a culture?
I think it's just a culture thing, to be fair, because I feel like it's less institutionalized, right? In terms of the workers that come to work on a property project.
Okay.
In a sense that typically one person only, how to say, they get a team on one development, and for that time they are focused to just build that development. Yeah, so so it's quite specialized, right? Whereas in Singapore, I see they 招来招去lah.
Yeah, because they have to they make
this
a
person
few
come here, then after he
then
to
he
the
run
place.
over there.
And also because he probably has a boss who's trying to maximize their
and their
output
time.
across different projects.
Yeah.
And you can do it in Singapore because it's small, right?
Yeah.
You really just run around.
Yeah.
Whereas in
Bali's a bit.
they most of them are from Java, the workers there.
Okay.
Yeah, so they kind of like not fly, I don't know. They come,
Sapan,
and then they work,
surf over.
they stay. Surf
You never know, man. Moana, man.
I just watched Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, is it
Did
good?
you watch?
No, I haven't.
I cried so hard. It's so good.
Okay,
Give
okay.
it a go. Give it a go. But yeah, anyway, they surf over and then they just stay on the land until the project is finished.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they kind of like build their own dormitory.
Oh,
stay there.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then in that sense, they are kind of like dedicated workers to the project.
When did you start this project?
2-3 years back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you just ended it or?
No, it's being rented out now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Since when?
Since last year.
Okay. Okay. But I heard from some people, they say like Bali now is very expensive, the house and all, not worth it to do a business anymore. Like, do you still feel like it's the case, or you still think there's like an opportunity there?
I find it hard to answer that question because the concept of worth it is very much up to you to define, right? So to me, it was worth it. A caveat, I came in a little bit earlier, so it wasn't as saturated as what it is like now. So I do agree, if you're looking for maximized returns, Canggu is probably not the space anymore. But Bali is so big.
And your space
so
is in Canggu?
My space is in
Wow,
Canggu,
okay.
A lot more of developments are being done north and south.
Yeah, I heard north and south there.
And I think also infrastructure-wise, the government is looking into building more like train systems, for example. Yeah, finally. So I do think in terms of long-term investment, there's still a lot of potential.
Okay.
What was the question?
Yeah, I'm just opportunity lor.
No, I still think there is
still upside,
but you gotta wait a little bit longer. I think also for me it was a learning experience, and I also then was thankful that I didn't bring in more Singaporean partners because it's a very, very different way of working.
I see.
Yeah.
Like what do you think like other Singaporean partners would have made it more difficult in that sense?
I feel like, and I get it, right? I will be the same if I'm going into a project and putting in money. The milestone deadlines and the ROI will be very important, right? Yeah. So if say you this should be the budget.
Yeah.
And you should be accountable for everything that you paid for.
Okay.
Logical, right?
Yeah,
For me also, if I go into something, I want clarity of accounts.
Yeah.
But there are certain things I shall not name that as a Singaporean, I didn't know I had to account for. that are very unique to the
Okay, I know why.
yeah. So those things I had to like
But usually
learn.
when you do business in this kind of country,
Yeah.
just across the strait, right,
But I don't
is
know like
normal
how
in-
much must you
Oh,
budget?
yeah, correct.
Or even things like in Bali, for example, they have a lot of ceremonies.
Is it? Okay.
And once there's a ceremony, then the worker needs to take time off to attend.
Okay.
So there can be like that causes, to be frank, a lot of delays.
No.
Yeah. So the project timeline just stretches.
So how long does it take to build like one
It's very
very
like hard to pinpoint.
pinpoint. Okay.
It's very hard to pinpoint because there are so many
Things that-
variables.
variables.
Whether it's the developer or the workers, maybe raw material, even the land that you're on. So like in Singapore, it's quite.
Yeah.
You want to renovate a apartment, for example, it's quite standard.
Like you know it's
lah.
about like 2-3
Yeah,
months. That-
correct.
Yeah.
But in Bali, for example, and plus if you say develop in Canggu versus Uluwatu versus somewhere up north, the conditions of the land are very different. Right? And the other thing is there's no central water system, so they have to dig. They really have to dig from the ground.
Oh.
Yeah, all these
Is that
things
why you
I would
get
never
like
know.
Bali belly?
Yes. Yeah. Don't trust the water.
Okay.
I mean, especially if you're from Singapore, lah, right?
When I go to Bali,
everything's-
right, I
You
bring
always
like a
have-
lot of water bottle. Then I bring it empty to the airport in Singapore. Then I queue up and then I fill all of it.
No
I
way.
just drink finish. My Bali trip.
Then you dabao your Singapore water there.
Yeah, I top up my Singapore water.
Okay, generally, if you go and stay, say at a villa, it's safe when they have the big water gallon dispenser,
Oh, is it?
the big bottle on top.
But do you trust? Because
Yeah.
I actually went down the rabbit hole. I was thinking, right? Okay, if I can't trust the tap, can I really trust the water that is in the water bottle that I buy from the 7-Eleven?
I trust lah. I don't know.
I was like, wow, jialat. Then maybe I just bring my water.
Shag, I think you have to not heavy man.
Heavy. I was
Gosh, I can't believe you do that.
like CrossFit workout.
You kena, is it before?
No, actually I never kena before.
Oh.
But I see all my friends kena.
Yeah, it's quite.
But you know,
it's so bad
I
until.
still fall sick in the end.
Oh really?
Because I never drink enough water. Because I ration it.
I say.
Okay, but
You
fun
can
facts.
trust. You can trust
Okay.
the like seal. You see the seal lah. Can.
Oh, I know. Maybe their factory also use the
Okay,
groundwater.
I drink all the time, so it's
Okay.
it's okay.
Have you gotten it before?
Yes. But sometimes you can't tell it's
True lah. You don't know whether
or
it's
the food.
the
Don't
food.
know. But recently, it's been happening so often that people have built a business out of going to villas and giving people IV drips.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
My
then
friend got it and immediately bounced back.
Yes. What the heck? That one I don't dare to try.
Hey, but then I scared.
I scared also.
Because
I
of
scared
the,
also.
You know, like what if got
I
AIDS
don't know.
or something,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
HIV
Or like, what if they're not? I'm more scared of. Oh no, not more scared. I'm equally scared of if they're not trained to administer the IV properly. Well, then they just like,
then anyhow poke, right?
yeah. Okay, we digress.
Okay, yeah, but anyway, wow, that's very cool.
Is
that, I mean, like owning a property outside Singapore
It's
quite
interesting.
cool,
It's
yeah,
interesting.
quite
I think also to me, I felt like I could never do it in Singapore. I could never. Yeah.
Yeah, it's legally like Singapore. You own one land is like
Yeah.
millions, right?
Done already.
Then you're done.
Done, yeah.
Like, there's nothing you can. Maybe
Yeah.
you could buy the land and just
Can you even? I think you can.
lie on the land.
I don't know. I don't even know whether I can afford the land.
You can't even renovate.
Last
Every
time my
year
mother
you
would tell
build
me
one
like,
level.
I think with your money you just the toilet only.
Just build the toilet, right?
exactly.
Actually, all you need is you build a 1-bedroom space in a landed property. Then you slowly build like Sims, like
Oh, idea. Huh? Life is just a game of savings.
I just build slowly. Now I got money to build one extra living room. Then I build.
I got it. Yeah, if I didn't take the money and spend it in Bali, that's probably how I might have approached building a home here.
But your house is so nice here.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
A lot of my
Sekali next month on block already, then you.
Then okay lor. Then okay on to the next thing lah, right?
True.
Yeah.
But anyway, also about your trampoline club, right? How long has it been going? Right?
Well, Nick, if you're watching this, I cannot remember. I think 3-4 years in the making.
Actually, what is it like? If you were to do like an elevator pitch about it, like what is the Trampoline Club?
It's called Trampoline, I'll start with that. Because of something Taman said, that Singapore is not meant to be a safety net, but a trampoline, so that if you fall, you should be able to bounce back higher.
Okay.
Yeah. And for that, then, Trampoline is a platform for deep conversations,
I see.
deep nuanced conversations to reach the world. It's pretty similar to what you're doing here.
Is it more towards mental health, or because I see a lot of like ADHD stuff that we're talking, or is it more
Not
like
necessarily.
just general
I think
marginalized kind of thing?
can I talk about my face?
Yeah, of course.
So, on one hand, like I mentioned, for the past 10 years of my life, I was just creating commercials, selling people things that, especially during COVID, it hit me. I was like, why am I? It's not a need. It's not a need. If you're stuck at home, why am I selling you a car brand? You know. And then also came cancel culture, and then I see Singaporeans talking about Black Lives Matter, for example.
Okay, yeah.
So a part of me also questioned, like, how much of it are we just echoing for the sake of echoing, or cancelling for the sake of cancelling? And why can't we just have more love and empathy in this world? And I think I've been very blessed to be surrounded by people like that in my life, that then allowed me to pursue whatever I want to pursue without judgment. And it's very common for us to have very deep conversations in my social circle. And I feel like that's how life should be, right? So I happened to meet Nicole, who is my partner at Trampoline, a very, very gifted filmmaker also. She's very good at documentary style.
I see.
Yeah. Which,
I mean, I saw the
you
videos,
saw
very, very
it.
good. Yeah.
I got her to help me on the campaign that you saw also.
Yeah, very nice.
So I think her gift is to be able to see beauty anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah, really. Some people really can. I
Yeah.
can't, man. Like, for example, I go to Bali, I'm like, oh my god, this like, wow, so dirty.
Oh,
So, like,
yeah.
some people can take the photo like, oh, how they make it nice. Yeah.
I think it really takes a certain
Exactly.
personality and a certain gifting. So you pair that up with, also on her, I would say, I'm so much in the commercial world that I'm so used to, we only got 1 hour to get it shot. If the person doesn't deliver right, I'm going to script it for the person and have that person just deliver it back to me. But she has so much patience to sit with people, and the conversation can go on super long, but she will respect it. And then she'll go back and distill the edit. So I think that's her superpower also, because she's essentially just extracting beauty lah, right? In the same way that she does when she takes a camera and goes into the world, she does it when she approaches an interview. And the cut downs are just the gems, the best of the best. So a part of that comes out in the To Be Human series, which is what you see mostly on Instagram and TikTok. And there's another part that is a little bit long form on YouTube, where we kind of got sick of very normal content formats. But we do believe in the power of media to get people to think a little bit more, reflect on life a little bit more. It's like how I go and watch Lilo and Stitch and then I cry, right? Because it touches certain things.
And
Whether it's
good for health.
or like I was watching with my mom, and she was very dry-eyed, and I was just like bawling, and she kept asking me, which part? So that made me think about which parts resonated in me, that it elicited an emotional response, and to me it was the parts where Stitch was like just wanted to say goodbye so that the family could live a better life. Yeah,
You're just life spoiling it for us.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No,
I'm just kidding.
most people would know right? The story.
Is it the same one?
happens.
Is the same
It's
one
the same
just live
story.
action?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But it's still like
Yeah.
it's hard, man.
Yeah.
So those themes about like sacrifice and stuff like that. Inevitably, when you're watching something, you also kind of like do some emotional labor yourself lah. At
Especially
least
when
I don't know about
cats
you
also.
huh?
Oh, when you
Every
have
time I watch
pets.
a dog movie,
Sorry, man.
I also like cry until super chitam during Hachiko. Oh my gosh.
I know what
Oh,
Hachiko. Yeah.
go and watch.
But I don't. I prefer not to put myself into that emotional trauma.
Yeah, it's very hard.
But Lilo and Stitch, it sounds
Okay, but in the same vein,
but yeah, in the same vein, yes.
it's about obviously amplifying the right inspiring stories in Singapore, and hopefully people will realize that they are not so alone. There's value in processing it with someone else. I think in our first season or format, we approached the topic of reconciliation.
Yeah.
Right. I won't speak too much about it, but it's two family members who were estranged or very, very distant. And then we kind of like discuss through also a very creative way that was birthed by Nicole, how they managed to get back together and see past their differences and have a good, healthy relationship now. Because I feel like, even for myself, I hate conflict. I'm very, very conflict averse. And
I love conflict.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Some people do. It's easier for me just to exit and goodbye lah. I don't need to see
I'm
you.
always the one that they say, Isaac, you go and talk to the person.
Very good, very good.
Don't love it lah. Don't love it also lah.
But-
Who loves it? Right?
But I feel like if you keep on practicing the muscle, which is what I'm trying to do, and also what we're trying to normalize, right, at Trampoline, it's the tough conversations that you invest into that make life a little bit more meaningful.
Correct.
Right? Then there's a second series that's out there where we it's called The Restroom. Very cute. Because we outfitted our studio to be a room of rest. So we got like 4 different personalities to surrender their phones before they go in.
Okay.
And commit to 1 hour of phone-free experience in the room. Where in the room also we have very tactile things to do lah, like they can paint, they can read books, they can play music or whatever. They can sleep also if they want to, or they can read. So that we wanted to discuss the harder topic of the relationship between rest and work. I think not enough Singaporeans realize how important. You stay here long, you stay here later. 1 hour, I take your phone out. Really? You need a...
No, I mean, for me, it's like work and rest just melt together.
I think it's tough because you also have a lot of businesses, right, under your belt. Plus, you work with your partner, right?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes. So at home,
even
it's like
more, the lines are blurred, right?
yeah. At home, it's like we really just talk about, like, we could talk about the dogs in like 1 minute, and then suddenly we talk about work at the same.
But do you find that tiring or invigorating?
I honestly have no recollection of how it is before.
Oh.
Because before that we were like students.
But dating that time already, y'all just start working together.
Dating that time, I was in uni. She graduated earlier, so she was doing
Already
just
doing
working.
business.
Doing her influencer stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So then after that, when I was in law, then she.
I forgot you were in law.
Yeah, I was in law. Yeah. Not a proud thing to say.
Why?
I mean, it's proud in Chinese New Year lah, about 30 seconds of fame. Then after that, you know.
It says a lot
And then
of
on
how
the-
you are. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a bottom feeder in law lah. But anyway.
But you're top feeder in business.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we were. I don't think we really had a real good long period of time where like we. I mean, cause I also helped her with her social media last time.
Yeah.
Back then, now I don't really, cause we fight a lot last time.
Really?
Cause when I go filming, right, to me it's like, let's get this done. Like no time to like just dilly-dally and let the creativity flow, you know. So which I think is very good. Like, I think something that is very good is that is for any commercial person working in media is the ability to manage creatives and get the creative people creative while still
Very hard,
having the which I think like how do you manage it actually honestly? It's not easy. I've done so much. I just those creative people are just get
it's
very
tough,
demoralized.
it's hard.
Yeah.
There's a book called Herding Tigers.
Okay.
That's very good.
Okay.
I'll read it. But I struggled a lot, especially when I was running, or I'm still running, but yeah, especially when I was running Duo, because I think you always have this like dichotomy of you want them to be in the best environment where they can create versus but you need to make a business out of
Yes,
their
exactly.
creativity.
Yeah.
And I think for me, for the longest time, I was trying to find a creative director to replace me so that I can stop being too minded about things.
Yeah.
It's also very hard because I might find myself wanting to marinate a bit more on the creative or spend a bit more time finishing it, but I'm so hyper aware of the costs that are involved or the deadline, like how this is going to impact the next step of the project.
Yeah.
So I really, really struggled. I really felt like I was like schizophrenic, having to do both. And I also felt like managing, so we had a business team and a creative team.
Yeah.
Managing both is very different because they are very different DNA.
Yes, correct, exactly. Yeah.
It's not easy, but I think at the end of the day, as long as people know that you got their back and you are doing certain things for them to win and succeed, they will accept lor.
Yeah. I think because also I have some media background, consulting for some media companies.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the stigma is like we have like a saying in the media industry is like, oh, this person is an artist. Like it's like, you know,
okay.
then how do you manage that? Because like when you're managing people who are more not like normal people, sometimes you just give them a goal.
People
There's like normal people and there's artists, right? Next level, you know. Cause I mean I'm a creative myself last time, right?
What do you consider yourself?
I used to be creative. Then now I'm moving towards the commercial side lah.
Okay.
Yeah, but then like last time when I think well I'm in the media industry, then I always say, oh, this person artist one lah, you know. Kind of thing. So there's like a bad stigma to it. So and I know that when like I manage people who are not creatives in that sense, I don't have to coddle them.
Right.
Yeah, but like I just tell them, oh, this is the goal. Together, let's reach the goal together as a team, right? But for like creatives, it seems, I mean, for most people in management in the media industry, I say, oh, you must make it about them, you know, make it about like how they can benefit from a certain thing. I don't know. Do you feel like the same way?
Good question. Context really matters, right? So I think it really depends. So my first response would be, if they're an artist, they wouldn't join a media agency or an advertising agency. And that's also something I like to remind junior creatives. Once you say yes to a job that is about monetizing your creative ideas, you can't be an artist anymore. You are a designer.
Yeah.
That means your ego isn't driving your work. It is the business problem. Yeah. And then how are you bringing a visual solution to it?
Yeah.
So essentially, in your interview process, you should be differentiating the people who want to be artists and the people who are here to be designers on a creative team or like a creative person in an agency setting.
Yeah.
Because that context already should help them have that mindset that they can't thrive here if they want to do things the way that they want to. If they want to, then go and be an artist. Go and be an artist, explore your life and how it expresses in your art. Making money will look very different then, right?
Yeah.
Get commission, sell your work, etc.
Yeah.
So that's that. Then when it comes to how do you give feedback? How do you manage them to let them lead? In a way, yes. But when I think about it, also, I don't think it necessarily differs too much from managing, in your words, a normal person. Because I think with everyone that you hire, you have to understand what's their true north, right? What do they want, not just out of their career, but in life? What is it that motivates them, makes them happy? What are their values and their principles? And it's going to be different for everyone, right? There might be a creative who is actually like, just got married. Money is going to be, making maximum amount of money is going to be my priority, even though I have a creative job. So I think, especially in Singapore, when that is a lot of the motivator, it's not fully applicable that everyone is fueled by like a creative ego if they're working in a creative field. But I do agree that it takes a little bit more nuance to manage them, because by virtue of choosing a creative line as a career, I do feel you have to be very in tune to your emotions.
I agree.
And you don't want to nullify it. Because that will make the work not good. I think I learned this from one of the creative directors that I hired. She had ADHD, but she told me that she was trying to find more natural ways of managing it, because she didn't want to take medication that will
like dull
her senses and emotions. She needed to use that as fuel to create, and I really respected that out of her. And I sometimes even feel like in Singapore, people are so used to suppressing their emotions, myself included, that the work doesn't become human anymore, right? That's when a conversation about AI and all that. But I think it's if the frustration comes from having to deal with emotions, then I feel as managers, or I felt like I had to be better in holding space for emotions. And I wasn't always like that. Like, I think especially as a business owner, there was a certain point in my life where I literally have told people, I'm so sorry, but anger and worry are damn useless emotions. Don't show up to work if you are just stewing in those emotions. It's non-productive. I can't profit. Not really lah, right? So I had to be better at helping people, or acknowledging where these emotions are coming from, using that as data. What changed? My parents are actually really good managers, and while I've tried to kind of like hold them at arm's length and give me my own space to grow as a business owner, it was COVID that my mom kind of like told me or reminded me that I can't take it for granted that everyone is going to be okay staying at home. And initially I wasn't comfortable with the fact that as a boss / business owner, like, why am I paying people but I have to take care of the stuff outside of work? Mostly it's about mental health. Mostly it's about coaching of soft skills. But my mom reminded me that it's not so easy to divorce the two, right? Whatever's happening at home will show up. And it's gonna be worse if they don't have a good home setting to be working in. The boundaries are blurred already. And I started to see evidence of that, right? I don't know whether I should say this, but I guess I was lucky in a sense that I went to stay in my office. So the boundaries are very clear. And at a point in time, we had a shop house. So I could really segregate. I eat here, I work out here, I work here, I sleep here. So it was quite different of a setting as compared to most people who I assume were probably like working, sleeping in.
Do you think it helps?
Really did. It really did.
Maybe I should try.
Okay, now you're
Everything
everything together. Oh my gosh.
That's why work is always on my mind.
But I wonder,
And it weighs on the emotions.
Does it?
Actually, yeah.
I was gonna say if it fuels you or it makes you feel very driven, I think it's okay.
I think got good, got bad.
Got good, got
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was then that I started learning more about mental health and coaching. I was also very fortunate to meet a friend now, Wally, who believe in coaching so much.
Okay.
We met at a sort of like a volunteer project before masks were mandatory and were sponsored. Our volunteer project was around getting masks to migrant workers who might not be able to meet it. So we were just kind of like put together as a motley crew.
Okay.
But I realized something very different about this guy lah, because three of us were in the comms team. Two of us are like female business owners, a bit type A kind of. I just want to get the work done. But this guy would come in and he would ask us, so how are you feeling this week? I hate answering that question.
Yeah.
I always don't know how to answer that question. And we would try to like, don't need to talk about feelings. Let's just like get on to the project or the task at hand. And he was like, no, it's important. Answer the question. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
And he did certain interesting things like group therapy but virtual.
Oh.
Yeah.
Group
Therapy.
Wow, okay.
So I guess the premise is in watching someone go through the wait. I have to say he doesn't like to call it therapy because it's coaching. It's coaching.
Yeah.
Watching someone do the inner work makes you inevitably do the work also. I guess that's also what guided a lot of our work with Trampoline.
I see.
Yeah, so it gave me a lot of tools to be empathetic, to hold space, to see someone, to listen to someone properly, to ask the right questions instead of like trying to bring my ego and agenda into conversations.
Yeah.
And I think also because I was so emotionally deficient, honestly,
Okay.
learning frameworks from him really brought me a lot more comfort in being able to go into like an emotionally charged meeting with someone and understand why.
Like the self-mastery and then understanding how other people are in charge also, is it?
Not just that, but so learning about triggers, learning about childhood trauma, learning about how people spiral.
Yeah.
These
That our
things.
dear friend. No,
Oh no!
no, I'm just kidding.
Oh no!
Yeah. But
No, but it's
true.
It's true.
Yeah.
These
True,
things help me understand a little bit better. If not, previous me would just be like, bro, you okay or not? Like, I don't even know how to approach it. I don't even know how to hold space for the person. So the conflict avoidant part of me will just exit. And then I won't be able to build meaningful relationships or help people feel cared for that. Yeah. So I guess, back to the initial question, that's COVID changed everything for me in terms of my management style. Yeah.
Cool. So are you a coach now?
No.
Will you want to be a coach?
No. No.
But it's just you want to just have the environment for people to go through and understand themselves better also lah, right? That's what Trampoline is also kind of about.
Yeah. I think what I'm trying to build in this season of my life would be platforms for people to realize that in Singapore, the narrative of success I feel is very standard, very standard. And from a very early stage in my life, I couldn't quite succeed within that standard formula.
The system. Yeah.
So I had to pivot like way earlier. But I feel like some people,
like the system works for them.
The system works, but then after a while they feel trapped by the system.
Basically the midlife crisis.
Happening now, right? So often. So I think just amplifying these narratives to let people realize that it's not the only way, it's not the only script you have to submit to, right?
Yeah.
You should have the space to discover your own interests, what you're passionate about, make mistakes, pivot if you need to. And then, this sounds super woo, but like figure out your own authentic self and
Yeah.
the path that you are meant to flourish in the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think I enjoy coaching people TBH.
Okay.
Again, like I don't have
Yeah.
that patience
Yeah,
for it
yeah, too-
sometimes. I
Yeah.
just wanna like let's go.
Yeah.
But I do believe that it's super important.
Yeah,
for
I also don't have the patience.
Oh,
But
is it?
I think it's very important because I also had coaches
Oh,
in my
okay,
life.
okay,
yeah,
okay.
And it really helped. Like really
Great.
helped me
Yeah,
with a lot of things.
it must. That's how you get the courage to go and start all
Correct.
these new things.
So we should normalize coaching.
Let's do that. There are so many coaches. I think the only
Correct.
problem might be coaching. It is so the barrier to entry to becoming a coach is actually quite low now.
Yes, it's too
Yeah.
low, I think.
Yeah, so I feel like, especially if someone is young, it's very hard to discern a
Yes,
good coach
correct.
from a
Good
bad
coach and
coach. Yeah. So to me, that's a danger. If a coach hasn't actually done their own work
Yeah.
to arrive,
Correct.
then it's quite scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New business idea.
I don't know. You go and start.
Okay, so thank you all guys for watching this episode of IRL podcast. There's so many things to talk about. Actually, she has so many things going on, and maybe we have a episode 2.
Ayo.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually
Okay,
don't like to
next time.
talk, but thank you.
I'll force you to talk. Okay, but anyway, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We'll see you in the next episode.